Unveiling the Legends of King Arthur. Welcome, listener. You are about to step into a world of myth, mystery, and magic. This is the tale of King Arthur, timeless legend of swords, sorcery, knights, and kingdoms. But what you're about to hear is not just a story. It is also an exciting opportunity to improve your English. As we journey through ancient Britain, pay close attention to the language used. Notice how the story builds tension with vivid verbs and descriptive imagery. Observe the rhythm of the sentences, the use of idioms, and the powerful dialogue. When you hear a new word or phrase, take a moment to understand it and try using it in your own sentences. By the end of this journey, you will not only know the legendary tales of King Arthur, but also enrich your vocabulary, improve your listening skills, and develop a deeper appreciation for storytelling in English. So, take a deep breath, let the mists of Avalon part. The story begins now. Chapter 1. The Sword in the Stone. Long ago, in a time of turmoil and fractured kingdoms, Britain was a land without a true king. Rival lords battled for power, and the people cried out for peace and unity. It was in this dark hour that the legend began. In the heart of London, a mysterious stone appeared in the courtyard of St. Paul's Cathedral. Embedded within it was a gleaming sword. Upon the sword's blade was inscribed an ancient prophecy. Whoso pulleth out this sword of this stone is rightwise king born of all England. Many knights, strong and proud, tried to free the sword, but all failed. It would not budge. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into years. The sword remained, untouched, its prophecy unfulfilled. Then came Arthur, boy of humble origin, raised by Sir Ector, unaware of his royal blood. While assisting his foster brother Kay at a tournament, Arthur realized Kay had forgotten his sword. Rushing through the streets, Arthur came upon the mysterious stone. With no spectators, no ceremony, he grasped the hilt and pulled. The sword slid free, effortlessly. Word spread like wildfire. The boy had done what mighty men could not. The nobles were skeptical. Tests were held. Arthur pulled the sword again and again, always with ease. The people rejoiced, and the barons, though reluctant, knelt. Thus, Arthur was crowned king, not by birthright, but by destiny. And so the legend began. Chapter 2. Merlin the Enchanter. Behind every great king is a great Gideon for Arthur. That guide was Merlin. No one knew exactly where Merlin came from. Some whispered he was the son of a demon and a mortal woman. Others believed he was the last of the ancient druids. All agreed on one thing: he possessed knowledge beyond any living man. Merlin had been watching Arthur since birth. It was he who arranged for the infant to be hidden with Sir Ector, ensuring the boy's safety while the realm plunged into chaos. Now, with Arthur crowned, Merlin revealed himself fully. He was not like the other court advisors. Dressed in robes of starlight and shadow, his eyes seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. He spoke in riddles, told stories that revealed truths, and saw the threads of fate where others saw only coincidence. Under Merlin's guidance, Arthur began his true education not just in swordsmanship and statecraft, but in wisdom, empathy, and the burdens of power. He taught Arthur the cost of greatness, the pain of justice, and the power of restraint. In the woods, Merlin showed Arthur ancient magics. In the castle, he taught him how to rule with fairness and vision. To Arthur, Merlin was more than a mentor. He was a second father, a mystic, and a mirror. Together, they laid the foundation of a kingdom unlike any before a kingdom that would become Camelot. Chapter 3. The Rise of Camelot. With Merlin at his side and destiny at his back, Arthur began to shape a kingdom the likes of which Britain had never seen. From the ruins of war and the ashes of mistrust, he forged unity. Arthur called for peace among the quarrelsome lords and offered justice in place of revenge. Some resisted, but many were inspired by his vision. One by one, knights of valor, honor, and loyalty pledged their swords to Arthur. Among them were Sir Lancelot, brave and noble, Sir Gawain, fierce and loyal, and Sir Percival, pure of heart. Together, they established the legendary round tablet symbol of equality, where no knight sat above another. At this table, great quests were born. Oaths were made. The ideals of chivalry, courage, compassion, honesty, and honor were no longer dreams, but duties. In the heart of Camelot, Arthur built not just a castle, but a court of ideas, where wisdom ruled alongside strength. Songs were sung of this golden age. Justice flowed like a river. The people, once torn by war, now believed in something greater, hope. And yet, in the shadows beyond the walls, forces stirred. Peace was fragile. Ambition waited. But for now, Camelot stood proud. The dream had begun. Chapter 4. Guinevere and the Trials of Love. In the early days of Camelot's glory, as peace blossomed and the kingdom flourished, Arthur met Guinevere, a noblewoman of great beauty and sharp mind. She was the daughter of Leodegrance, a loyal ally, and her grace captured Arthur's heart at once. Their wedding was a grand celebration. Nobles, knights, and common folk rejoiced together. As a gift, Leodegrance gave Arthur a magnificent round table, yes, the very round table that would become the symbol of unity and honor. With Guinevere at his side, Arthur's reign seemed invincible. But love, like power, is never simple. Among Arthur's knights was Sir Lancelot, the bravest and most loyal of them all. He had sworn to serve Arthur with heart and blade butt in Guinevere. He saw not just his queen, but his heart's desire. Though both resisted at first, the bond between them grew. It was a love both passionate and forbidden. Whispers began to spread. Glances turned to rumors. Trust turned to tension. Arthur, torn between kingly duty and human heartache, buried his pain for the sake of the realm. But cracks had begun to form in the dream of Camelot, cracks not caused by war, but by love and betrayal. This was the beginning of a quiet storm, one that even Merlin could not prevent. Chapter 5. The Quest for the Holy Grail. As Camelot matured into legend, a strange unease settled over the court. Though the kingdom was strong and its knights mighty, a sense of restlessness grew especially among those who sought more than glory in battle. It was then that a vision came. One evening, as the knights gathered around the round table, a blinding light filled the hall. From it appeared the Holy Grail, a sacred cup said to hold divine power, the very chalice used by Christ at the Last Supper. It shimmered with unearthly radiance, and then vanished. The knights were stunned. Sir Galahad, the pure-hearted son of Lancelot, stepped forward. Others followed: Sir Percival, the seeker of truth, Sir Bors, loyal and devout, and even Lancelot himself, hoping redemption lay at the end of this path. Arthur allowed the quest, though he feared its cost. This journey, Merlin warned, will test not your strength, but your soul. The knights rode into distant lands, each seeking the Grail. Some were tempted, some were lost. Some learned that not all quests end with triumph, but with truth. In the end, it was Galahad who glimpsed the Grail fully and was taken by angels too pure for this world. Percival returned, changed. Lancelot returned, broken. And Arthur, though proud of their courage, felt the absence of his greatest knights as a wound that never healed. The Grail brought no riches, no power, only insight, and that perhaps was its greatest gift and burden. Chapter 6. The Fall of Camelot. No kingdom, no matter how noble, lasts forever. Despite the glory, despite the heroism, darkness gathered around Camelot. The seeds of its downfall had already been planted by betrayal, by pride, by fate itself. Arthur's own bloodline turned against him. Mordred, his illegitimate son born of a tragic mistake and raised in secrecy, emerged from the shadows with bitter ambition. He was clever, charismatic, and resentful. Some say Merlin foresaw his treachery. Others say destiny could not be changed. While Arthur struggled to hold his court together, word of Guinevere and Lancelot's affair reached Mordred. He used it to fracture the Round Table. Knights once sworn as brothers took sides. The unity that had held Camelot strong began to splinter. In the chaos, Guinevere was sentenced. Lancelot fled, and Arthur was left to wage war against his most trusted knight. The kingdom, once a shining beacon, was engulfed in civil strife. Then came the final battle. Camelot. Arthur and Mordred met on a mist-covered field. Both armies were weary, both leaders haunted. Legend says neither wanted to strike first, but a misunderstanding, a flash of a sword, sparked the fight. It was brutal. Brother fought brother. Blood soaked the soil. Arthur slew Mordred, but not without cost. Mortally wounded, the king was carried by loyal knights to the edge of a lake. There he gave Excalibur back to the Lady of the Lake and whispered his final command. Some say he died. Others believe he was taken to Avalon, a mystical isle, to rest until Britain needs him again. Camelot faded. But the legend, Arthur's legend, lives on. Epilogue. The once and future king. The halls of Camelot may have crumbled, and its knights may lie buried beneath forgotten stones, but the legend of King Arthur endures. Across centuries, his story has been told and retold, in whispered tales by firesides, in grand poems in ancient manuscripts, in classrooms, songs, and dreams. Why does it endure? Because Arthur is more than a king. He is a symbol of hope, a leader who ruled with justice, who dreamed of a world built on fairness, courage, and unity. His round table was not just furniture. It was an idea that all voices matter, that power should serve the people. Because his story reminds us that even the greatest heroes are flawed, that love can both uplift and undo, that even the brightest kingdoms can fall, and that sometimes the truest victories are not won with swords, but with wisdom and sacrifice. And because, perhaps, we all want to believe that he will return, that when the world falls into darkness, Arthur will rise again, the once and future king, ready to restore what was lost, to remind us who we can be. So, as the mists of Avalon close around this tale, take what you've heard and carry it forward, not just as a story, but as a light. The legend lives on in you now. The end.